Summerboard have just released a brand new model for their SBX. You're looking at the future for snowboarding on roads. This board offers so many improvements over the previous generation. From gold-plated slip rings, a huge revamp to the caster system, new wheels, and they've somehow managed to make the board look even more futuristic than the previous SBX. And with all of these promised improvements, is this the leap we've all been waiting for to bring snowboarding to the city? This board honestly took me by surprise. I didn't expect that Summerboard were going to release a brand new product, and even more than that, I didn't know that they were going to release so many things in one go. One of the things that I looked at immediately when I unboxed this board was just how low they've managed to get the mounting height as compared to the previous SBX. Now that's the distance between the board and the caster when it touches the ground, and in principle, the lower you can get that, the more similar the ride can get to a snowboard. Because on a snowboard, you're basically almost touching the ground. And bear in mind that they need to fit all of the electronics and the bearings for the caster mechanism, and they've managed to do that in about as much space as the Freeboard G3R, which, by the way, isn't even electric. The board has a brand new design at the bottom and some custom grip tape at the top, which looks very nice. The build quality here is really on another level, and you can seriously see that Summerboard have tried to make a product that is completely bulletproof. But do all of these quoted improvements actually stand up to the test? The bumps in this road are normally a bit of a problem for the SBX1, and the more spinning and drifting that you do would previously have caused the centre wheel to vibrate and spin, which is known as wheel chatter. Oh, this is sick, this is sick. Okay, front side. Yeah, I mean, this is nuts. Okay, let's go. Uphill, this is uphill. Because I was told the centre wheels were much more reliable on this board, I was far more confident trying to take it to much higher speeds, even if the road was quite bumpy. We're capping out, we're capping out. We're capping out. Easy. Now, of course, capping out on the previous SBX wasn't that difficult to begin with, once you know the pattern of holding each edge and alternating between them as you pick up speed. Equally, it's not that you couldn't do all of these spinning and drifting tricks on the previous SBX if the ground was rough. It's just that in a way the ground had to be reliably rough. You know, something like paved roads, or at least something that's constantly rough, because if you know what to expect, you can adjust your riding style and handle any vibrations of the centre wheels. And this road here is one that I normally wouldn't do these kinds of tricks on, because the road isn't that smooth and the bumps are very unpredictable. Got a big hill, and yeah, it's just all about trying to turn it into a snow slope, and it really does feel like you've got the piste all to yourself. So I guess this is kind of blue or a green run, and you can just practice all kinds of stuff. The more reliable casters allow you to much more safely push the limits of weight distributions in all these kind of drift tricks. And you know, 9 times out of 10, the Summerboard SBX1 would have been fine with these, but it's good to know that that psychological block of the 1 time out of 10 that it would have failed is now gone. And because the casters are more reliable, you can start to accelerate while doing these overslides, where previously I would have had to stop accelerating completely. Now, for sure, I had high hopes for this board, but I don't think I expected the board to be this good compared to the previous one. If their mission was to get rid of wheel chatter, then they have absolutely done that. I haven't had a single instance of it while riding it, which is completely crazy considering just how limiting it was on the Summerboard SBX1. And with this comes the fact that you can quite literally unlock a completely different riding style that just wasn't available on the previous Summerboard. You could ride fast and snappy with the previous one, but that slow style of riding that a lot of freeboarders have just wasn't really possible. And that's because you would always know that if you were spinning slowly and you were going quickly, there was a good chance you were going to get wheel chatter. This improvement is far better than any other increase in specs. The range and max speed were already more than enough, especially if you're interested in developing a similar riding style to me, which is to really learn all of these flat ground spinning and drifting tricks. But they've also come out with the new Summerboard Pro wheels. These differ from the stock wheels in that they have a slightly reduced diameter. This increases the rocker of the board, which is the distance between the edge wheels and the ground. And I think the reason Summerboard have gone for this is because more advanced riders tend to prefer to ride with more rocker. To be honest though, it can still help if you're a total beginner because it makes spinning a little bit easier, and with the increased distance of the edge wheels to the ground, it makes catching the edge even less likely. All round, I've really rated these wheels so far, and although they may be smaller than the stock wheels, they should last the same amount because I'm told that they have the same amount of urethane in them. And let's be real, the blue looks way cooler than the grey, especially since it matches the centre wheels. I thought these wheels had really good stopping power, and coupled with the fact that the casters are more reliable, I felt confident to start picking up some speed in switch.
24 miles.
And as we were bombing up the hill, I noticed that there was a bit of a traffic jam. A perfect opportunity to test the board on some very narrow bumpy ground. And it managed really well even at high speeds.
It's getting tested.
It's mind-blowing. It's actually mind-blowing. I mean, I got no chatter. I was able to hold down the acceleration button while doing these oversides with, you know, both in switch and in regular. Didn't get a single bit of chatter. That is crazy. I have not had that before. I mean, even the freeboard, if you're going downhill and the ground's not great, or you get some sort of bad luck with your weight distribution, you're gonna get a chatter. I was riding just then, the road was very bumpy. I was just going for it because, you know, the challenge was there. Aaron was like, you're not gonna get a wheel chatter, and I was a bit like, I think I will. Didn't get one. I haven't had a single wheel chatter, so yeah.
Now look, these improvements are incredibly impressive, and even the small changes like the button that you use to turn it on make this product feel way more premium. If you already own an SBX, hearing all these benefits might make you think that your board is subpar, but honestly, especially if you've got the V2 electronics, there is so much potential with that board. That said, the SBX2 is a game changer, because there was a kind of riding that I always felt was missing on the SBX, and until now it was an experience that I'd only had while freeboarding in the mountains. Letting the board drift perpendicular to the way that you're traveling and just gliding above the ground. And sure, if you snowboard, you might just think that's a falling leaf. And it is, but it's a falling leaf on road, not on snow. It's absolutely alien, and it's tricks like these that make me wonder how on earth these sports aren't more popular. So a huge congratulations to Aaron Aders and the team at Summerboard. You guys have made something incredible. But with all of this in mind, I'm left wondering one thing. Will Summerboard ever bring this anti-chatter machinery over to a non-electric board? Summerboard have demonstrated that they will continuously release new and innovative products to the road snowboarding space, and it would be fantastic to see this level of competition brought to the non-electric versions. Because when it comes to innovations, Summerboard have just set the bar higher than it's ever been.